Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Mr. Beck, and I am delighted to see you. And welcome to 7th grade Learning Support Math. Let's get started. First thing I want to do is tell you a little bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I went to Cardinal Doherty High School, and then I went to Penn State University, where I received my bachelor's degree, and then I went to Arcadia University, where I received my master's degree. I started working in education as a teacher in a psychiatric hospital. I then went to Philadelphia, where I taught for a couple years. This is my 18th year altogether together in Cheltenham, my 22nd year altogether. I am a dad to Jackie, who is 12 and a half. This is her right here. And I am a dad to Natalie, who is 11. This is my wife, Mary, and we have been married for 13 years. My daughter, Jackie, is in 7th grade as well. And sometimes I feel like my world is definitely colliding into one another. Let's move on. So let's talk a little bit about the math curriculum. The first part of the curriculum, the first unit of study, is the number system. And we actually do not use a calculator during this first part of the system. We're learning about integers, we're learning the computation of integers, etc. We'll move into inequalities, equations and expressions, percents, proportional relationships, probability, and geometry. On top of this, we will absolutely sprinkle in reteaching, relearning some of the basic skills. Some of that is computational skills, some of that is fractions, some of that is decimal relationships, place value, etc. Let's move on. So how will we do this? What kinds of tools will we use? The first tool that we will use is math maintenance. Every day when your child arrives to class, they have a sheet on their desk that is math maintenance. There are 4 questions that they have to answer, and then we review it. And this is really where we do the reteaching of some of those basic skills. Sometimes there's a question on addition with regrouping. Sometimes it's multiplication, double digit by 2 digit. Sometimes it's just a question related to geometry or fractions. We use the Envision Math textbook series. Some other online tools that we use are the quizzes and Kahoot. We often look at videos from Khan Academy, have students create flip grids and view ed puzzles. And of course, one of the number one things that we use are IXL assignments to both enhance our skills and reteach and relearn some of those basic skills as well. Some materials for class. The first thing your child will need is a folder. The second thing is hopefully a sharpened pencil. Most certainly a charged Chromebook or a charger with them, and a calculator. There will be an option to purchase a calculator through the school. Be on the lookout for this opportunity moving forward. If purchasing a calculator is difficult, I can understand. I do have a few in the room, but I would certainly love it for, if possible, all students to have a calculator on their own. You'll notice that I did not include a notebook. That is because I believe notes are very important, trust me. We take our notes digitally, and that is in our Google Classroom. So this way they stay in the drive forever, and they will never be lost. Moving on, some grading and homework. Any homework is obviously an extension from the classroom activities and learning objectives that we did for that day. Assessments are usually announced at least 1 week in advance, and study guides are always provided. In math, study guides are usually practice questions, and then we review them the next day or the next following days. Grades are typically based on a point system with a combination of classwork, homework, some projects, assessments, making up the total number of points. Assessments are typically weighted more than other assignments. And let's see, lastly, how can you help your child at home? Check PowerSchool weekly. I often say set up a time with your child. Set up a time on Saturday morning, say at 10 a.m., go through PowerSchool. Have your child show you Google Classroom. What does their Google Classroom look like? Encourage them to advocate for themselves when needed. Help them make a calendar for long-term assignments. And most importantly, things will happen over time. They are still listening to you, even though they will go out of their way to tell you otherwise. And I'm trying to remember that myself, having a seventh grader in my own home at this time. That is all that I have for you. If you have any questions, you are certainly welcome to email me. My email is right there, tbeck@cheltenham.org, or give me a phone call or send a text message to 267-518-3654. And I appreciate that. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Until we tell you to log off.